Hi, I'm Eric Johnson, and today I'm here with Sherry Ryan. Sherry is the CISO of Juniper Networks and has had a long career in security, CISO of HP and of Blue Shield of California. And she's here today as part of a workshop that we're running, funded by the National Science Foundation. It's part of a project called Trustworthy Health and Wellness. And we've had a good group of security officers from across the healthcare value chain talking about some of the threats and security issues and really solutions to some of the information security problems that we see in the healthcare supply chain. So welcome, Sherry.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Well, Sherry, we've been talking about threats this morning, and I was wondering what stood out in your mind or something that's really top of mind for you in terms of the threats and the security landscape.
So for me, I have sensors, of course, on my network, and I can see that I have more pings coming at me or tapping at my perimeter from nation states than from the U.S. Yeah. And most U.S. companies have more from the U.S. So again, that just backs up for us that intellectual property is the most attractive target.
And they're just constantly out there banging, testing.
Coming at it, yes.
That's a scary thing, given that some of those are pretty big countries.
It is. And one of the things that I really worry about is this move to the cloud. We have and have had since I've been there, a why not cloud strategy. So in a couple of months, we will be out of our last business data center that's on-prem. Now, we will still have 2 private cloud data centers that we purpose-built to house our product R&D, but no more business, applications running on-prem. So everything will be in the cloud. Now, I need to be concerned about SOX. I need to be concerned about HIPAA to some extent, PII, GPR, GDPR. All of those issues are still concerns for me. So cloud security is something that I need to look out for.
Yeah.
And make certain that we're doing right.
So when you think about protecting your data in the cloud, are there solutions or things that you're excited about?
There are. One of the things that was worrying me was that in the fall of last year, 2017, we had a series of companies whose data was exposed, very well-known, very reputable companies, and including a financial one this week, actually, whose data was exposed because they misconfigured an S3 container.
Wow.
And so configuration issues are very much a concern, and especially when people are spinning up things in the clouds and new VPCs across your company, putting data in and analyzing things in the clouds. That became a big worry for me. So we went out and looked for something. We did find Evident.io as a solution that very simple to install, and it monitors key configuration items. I think that it matches up well to the Cloud Security Alliance and their recommendations. But there are new ones coming out. I've seen another one from, I think, a company called Laceworks most recently. That's a newer company. Yeah. So I'm certain there'll be more people in that space, because if I was losing sleep, I'm certain there are a lot of my peers out there as CISOs who were worried about their data going into the cloud too. And was there something that was misconfigured that would allow it to be exposed?
Now, Juniper itself, of course, is a big IT supplier.
Yes.
And of course, that makes you kind of customer number one, adopting the equipment that you sell others. But I'm curious, from the security standpoint, you also gain a lot of experience around security in your own organization. Do those learnings end up back in Juniper products, and how does that work?
They absolutely do. In fact, my team laughingly says we're customer zero sometimes, but we do. I mean, that's part of the commitment at Juniper, is that we will run things on Juniper, runs on Juniper, and that we will take those learnings and put them back into the product. So my team has regular meetings with different product engineers on the development side, but also with the product lifecycle managers, the PLMs, to make certain that they understand what we're looking for in a product, in a solution, and where the solutions that we have at this point stack up against those requirements. We also work very closely with business development teams so that they understand what we think the gaps are in our products and our product line. What are the things that I'm having to go buy from somewhere else because our product doesn't do it, so that they can consider that either as an acquisition or a future project, to add on to that product solution of the line. So we're also involved in acquisitions, evaluating. They will come to us and say, we're thinking about, we have this gap, and buying this to fill that gap. Would you run this product and tell us what you think of it?
Sure.
So we're very involved in those as well.
That's great.
So yes, protecting Juniper is a big part of the job, but there's a lot of other things. And the good thing is that my team likes that. They like that variety. They like to get to do some things at Juniper that they see turn into solutions then that lets them feel like they really are making a difference.
Solving their problem solves customers' problems along the way.
Absolutely.
That's great.
And that their influence is going farther than just locking down Juniper. So.
Well, the workshop today, we're at Vanderbilt's Owen Graduate School of Management, and have a lot of interest in young leaders that we're training and sending off into the workforce. And one of the things I always ask is about a leadership lesson. Is there something that you've learned along the way? You manage a large organization at Juniper. What have you learned that you might want to share on leadership?
So I've learned a lot of lessons along the way. But one of the things that it took me quite a while to learn, I think, that was a very valuable lesson, is that I measure my success in security, not by did I get breached, but really around the culture change that occurs. And that's why I personally never wanted to go into consulting over the years. Consultants come in, they do important work, of course, but then they leave. I get to stay around and savor the change that occurs. But my lesson was that change, because it's human change, will take longer than I ever dreamt to drive this change to a culture of security within the culture of the company. So in any project, it's the human change that's going to take longer than I've ever thought.
That's great. Well, Sherry, thank you so much for spending the day with us at Vanderbilt.
Thank you for having me back. I really enjoyed it. There were some great attendees here, and I learned a lot from them as well.